Hey, what is up, guys? It is TheBeardedMaestro here, and today we are back doing our A to Z of Smite. Now, in this episode, what we'll be doing is Ah Muzen Cab, which is the god of the bees. Now, this god is quite an interesting sort of one to me. I mean, I've got some gameplay to show you. He's all right. I'm still trying to get to learn more about him. I've played a few games with him, but I don't know. He's one of these range gods that I don't really get along with. There's a few others out there that I prefer to him, but what we'll do anyways is we'll go through each of his abilities to see what exactly they do, and then there'll be some gameplay at the end of where I'll be explaining what items I build in what order, and as always I'll be doing a entertainment rating, and I'll be doing a difficulty rating as well. So here it is. So we'll start off with passive, which is bees. I've always wanted to do that, so sorry if I did blast your eardrums out if you are listening to this on the earphones. But yeah, so anyway, his passive is basically enemies afflicted by bees takes damage for every 0.5 seconds for 2 seconds, are revealed on the minimap, and swarm nearby enemies. Basic attacks refresh and extend the duration of bees by 1 second, and any target afflicted for 4 seconds is disarmed for 1 second, and there's 10 seconds cooldown between the disarms. So it's a good little passive to have. I mean, when you play in the arena, it's not really that great due to the fact that it's one lane, one thing. You're going to see everyone, but in the actual joust and all those other maps, yeah, it'll be great because he'll always be able to be careful of what his surroundings, and I do like it in that sort of way because it is sort of like a defense mechanism without actually having to do any defending. First ability is Hive, which basically is bees swarm at a ground target location, creating a new hive that provides movement and attack speed buffs to Ah Muzen Cab. He also heals for a small amount every second while he remains close to the hives. The hives can only be destroyed by basic attacks, and you can only leave a maximum of 6 hives. So this is a very good ability to have due to the fact that if you are in a bit of a sticky situation and you need that extra little bit of health to get you going, it's a very good little thing because not only does it give you that health, it gives you that attack speed that keeps on plucking at the targets. So if they try to fight you around a few of your hives, they've got no chance because when they're dealing the damage, you're also getting health back, and you're also popping more of the attack speed, so you'll be popping off more shots at them. So his next move is Swarm, which is Ah Muzen Cab summons a large swarm of bees that fly forward in a path in front of him, dealing damage to all enemies hit and applying bees to him. So this is a good attribute to have due to the fact that not only does it damage you with a swarm, but it also has a knock-on effect by giving the bees passive as well. So this is probably my favourite move set out of all of his. But other than that, when you do attach it on with the honey move, it makes it even better because not only are they slowed, they're taking damage, and because of the hives as well, you're also hitting them with the attack speed increased attacks. So I do like that ability a lot. So his next move is Honey, which is Ah Muzen Cab sprays honey at a movable ground target location, slowing all enemies in the area. Bees from hives within 55 foot and swarm will fly over to protect the honey, dealing damage every 0.5 seconds and applying bees to all enemies as they leave the honey. So basically this is not only a slow but also a damaging sort of ability due to the fact that not only do you spray it within the area of a hive, the hive bees will then attach to the honey, which will then slow and eat away at their health. And if you were to also use swarm as well, that'll also do additional damage. So he's very much of a combo sort of ranged god, which I do like about him. But other than that, there isn't much to him. So if you were to hit him with a combo, that's fine. But at the end of the combo, you've got next to nothing of mana. And his final move is Stinger, which is Ah Muzen Cab fires off an enormous stinger that deals damage to all enemies in the line, sticking into the first god that it hits, applying bees, and crippling them for 3 seconds. If the target dies after 3 seconds, the stinger falls onto the ground for 4 seconds. If Ah Muzen Cab picks up his stinger, he gains a significant reduction to stinger cooldown. Yes, that does sound like a good ability, but by the time you've already peppered them with all your abilities, you're going to have next to nothing when it comes to mana. So there's not going to be much chance of you actually getting off a second stinger attack. I mean, yes, it does cut it down significantly, but by the time you've done the abilities, you're going to have nothing left. The only way you're going to do it is if you just pepper them with attack speed from when you need hives, and then hoping that the stinger hits, and then the cooldown then lets you hit it again. But if you used to try and do a combo, you're only going to get one off. The gameplay going, what I'll be doing now is explaining the items that I used on Ah Muzen Cab. So, with any ranged god, you've always got to start with the boots. Always got to start with them off. So that's why I always try and build up to the warrior tabi, because it gives you a plus 40 on your physical power and a plus 18% on your movement speed. Because you need your movement speed and a little bit of power first before you do anything else. Because if you're not that mobile, you will get picked off in the early game. You know, I usually like to go with something a bit more lifesteal, bit more damage. So there's a few things that you could always pick from, but my favourite is Bloodforge, because not only does it give you plus 40 on your physical power, it also gives you plus 15% on lifesteal, and the passive is each successful basic attack hit on an enemy grants you plus 5 physical power and plus 3% on the physical lifesteal for 4 seconds with a maximum of 3 stacks. So there's a lot to go with it. I mean, there's a lot of items you can pick from, but I always think that you need to get the attack damage in quickly, and if it has another benefit to it, then by all means you're in luck, but you've always got to do it when you're a ranged character. So after I get myself the attack speed, the damage, the lifesteal, I usually go with a bit more attack speed, just to get that bit more extra damage in there due to the fact you're pumping out more auto attacks. So that's why I like to go with the HI-REZ, I think I pronounced that right, HI-REZ, which gives you plus 30% on your attack speed and physical penetration of plus 10. Plus the passive is every successful basic attack increases your physical power by 10 and reduces your target's physical power from items by 10 for 3 seconds, and it stacks up 3 times. So it's a very good item to get, especially when it comes to the late game, because you're going to have to start stacking up the penetration, and that's what you need, because they're going to start building up the defences to try and stop you, so you've got to start trying to penetrate it. But that is what I'd get. That I like to build an Ah Muzen Cab is I like to build something that has a bit more physical power, but I also like to do attack speed, because when you're a ranged god, you need to start building a bit more when it comes to the late game, especially when it comes to your power and your attack speed, because you just need to start pelting bullets. So that's why I recommend that you build the Executioner, because it gives you plus 30 on power, plus 25% when it comes to attack speed, and the passive is basic attacks against an enemy reduce your target's physical protection by 8% for 3 seconds, and that also does 4 stacks. For my 5th item, what I like to build is, again, you're a ranged god, so you've got to build more physical power, but this time I've gone with critical strike chances. So that is why Rage is the best one for, I personally think, for Ah Muzen Cab. So that is why I like to go with it, because it gives you a physical power of plus 30, plus 20% when it comes to a critical strike, and the passive is if your basic attack does not critically strike, your critical strike chance increases by 10% and it stacks up to 6 times. So even if you're going right down to the wire and you're not getting those critical hits off, it will stack up and it will then guarantee you a critical hit. But when you start getting more of the attack speed, you're just going to keep pelting it out, and it will just continuously do critical strikes. And if it doesn't, then it's just going to give you a bigger, much stronger critical strike. So that is why I like to build Rage. And for the final item, what I like to build is Malice. Unfortunately, in this gameplay, I didn't actually get to build the full-on thing. I only got part way there. But yes, that is what I'd build on Ah Muzen Cab, is Malice. Due to the fact that it gives you plus 50 physical power and an additional 20% critical strike charge. And another passive on it is, when you deal a critical strike, you do an additional 75% of your total physical power as physical damage over the next 3 seconds. So basically, when you've been building up all that attack damage throughout the whole game, you then get Malice, and it then gives you that extra little bit of bumping up. So then when it comes to late game, you'll be a force to reckon with. Here's people, that is how I build Ah Muzen Cab. It is very much of a attack speed, attack damage and penetration mainly build, but that's what I feel like you need to build when it comes to these ranged sort of gods. So this is the part where we now give it a difficulty rating. which I'd probably give him a 6 out of 10. Not as difficult as Agni, but the combos there you need to sort of sit down and actually really focus on, because if you guys focus those combos off, it will do a lot of damage and it will do you a lot of favours. And entertainment value of Ah Muzen Cab, he isn't really that fun, to be honest. I mean, yeah, he's great to do the combos with, but after that's done, you're down on mana. That's you out with. So I'd possibly give him an entertainment rating of 4, because yeah, it's hard to say because there's a lot to him, but then when you've gone through it, like with the movesets and all that, that's sort of it. It sort of comes to a standstill. So I would probably prefer other ranged gods, but we'll get to that as I go through the alphabet. But anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video of my next A to Z of Smite featuring Ah Muzen Cab. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I shall see you all next time. As you can probably tell from the gameplay that you're seeing as well, is I also like to hold off on the lost artifact. I mean, it's a good little item to start off with when you're in the early game, but as time goes on, when you've got a few more items that have already maxed out, I do like to upgrade to the one of Tahuti, which basically gives you 125 more magic power and magic